Do you count yourself among the people that you trust? Hey everybody, welcome back to Why Should I Read That? I'm John, this is episode 8. I want to start this episode off with 3 questions for you. Who is it that you trust? Why do you trust that person or persons? And number 3, and probably most importantly, do you count yourself among the people that you trust? Those questions and the answers to those questions tell us a lot about the way that we think about ourselves and about others, what we believe about society, and how quickly we're able to do things. This week's book is The Speed of Trust by Stephen M.R. Covey. This book was written first in 2006 and has become one of the most widely read books by CEOs. Covey realized that our society is in a trust deficit. We're losing trust in our society. And he argues in this book that when trust is high, speed is also high and cost is low for organizations. And he says trust is a competency, a skill that can be learned, inspiring trust in others and in ourselves. Now, to illustrate this and the fact that we're losing trust in society, think of the last time you flew somewhere. Did the TSA agents demonstrate much trust to you at all? Did it take a lot of time? Has the cost of flying gone up or gone down over the past number of years? Those things illustrate the idea that when trust is high, speed is high and cost is low. When trust is low, then speed goes down and cost goes up. We've seen quite a bit of bureaucracy spring up around the idea of flying because of the attacks in 9/11 and other terrorist attacks as we go. My heart goes out to the victims of the Brussels attacks this past week. It really is sad, but it does demonstrate the fact that we're losing trust in our society because everyone here in the United States now goes through more of a process even when terrorist attacks happen overseas. But this book illustrates and delves into the making of trust at all 5 levels. Now, Covey and we just talked about societal trust, which Covey says is the 5th level of trust. So the 5 levels go from societal trust to organizational trust or market trust. Organizational trust is the 3rd one. Relationship trust is the 2nd one. And then first of all, right at the center is self-trust. Now, I want to talk about self-trust with you guys real quick here. We'll delve into it in the blog, but to point out the 3 ways that we build self-trust and then 3 habits to really illustrate that first point. So, the quote that I want to share with you, or a quote that I want to share with you guys from Ralph Waldo Emerson on page 46 of this book is, "Self-trust is the first secret of success, the essence of heroism." Now, heroes are people that are inspiring to others. They have a reputation, they build things, and they bring others along with them. If your self-trust is low, could you ever bring someone along on a project that you don't actually believe in? If you don't trust yourself, could you bring people along with you? Probably not. So, Covey says there's 3 ways that we can accelerate our process of self-trust, because trust is like a reputation. A reputation can take 20 years to build, but only 5 minutes to tear down. So as we build trust in ourselves, we want to remember that first of all, we can make and keep commitments to ourselves. Second of all, we can stand for something that we believe in. And third of all, we can be open and not deceitful or dishonest. So those 3 ways really build self-trust. And I want to delve into the first one in a little bit more detail, making and keeping commitments to yourself. Now, when you're making commitments to yourself, there's 3 things I want you to remember. Number 1, when you make commitments, don't make too many of them. All you're doing if you make too many commitments is inviting failure, because focus really only works on one thing at a time. So if you try and focus on so many things, all you're doing is inviting frustration. Second of all, when you do make those commitments, remember, you're not making too many of them, but when you do make those commitments, hold yourself to the same standards that others would hold you to. If your boss expects you to work 8 hours every day, and you expect yourself to work out for 30 minutes every day, which one are you more likely to skip out on? I know in my case, I'm more likely to skip out on the 30 minutes if it was a tough 8 hours, right? But those commitments that I make to myself are just as important as the commitments that others have that I've made to other people. So that's the second thing. Third thing, once you do make these commitments, remember, we're not making too many of them, and we're holding ourselves to them once we make them. Be very, very careful to not make impulsive commitments. Covey uses an example of at a New Year's party. He said, man, I'm going to be more healthy this year. I'm not going to drink pop. I'm not going to drink juice. Only going to drink water. Now, he made that commitment publicly, and he knew he had to keep it. But the next couple days, he realized that he wasn't thinking through it 100%. So that really, really had something to do with how he did. Hello. So, the last thing, I encourage you guys to build your self-trust through these 3 habits, and that can really propel you on as you move forward in life. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys later for episode 9. These guys don't look real excited that I'm here.